A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we gather to celebrate the spirit of research and collaboration that drives innovation in management and entrepreneurship. We are truly honored to have you all here as we embark on a day filled with knowledge sharing and groundbreaking research. The third International Conference on Management and Entrepreneurship, ICOME 2024, organized by the Faculty of Management Studies, the Open University of Sri Lanka. As you all aware, the Faculty of Management Studies, the Open University of Sri Lanka, is one of the most innovative faculties dedicated to developing platforms where knowledge is generated and shared. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a great opportunity that creates yet another fantastic stage for the local and international scholars to showcase their versatility, especially in creating and disseminating knowledge across the nation. So, I warmly welcome you all to the third International Conference on Management and Entrepreneurship, ICOME 2024, organized by the Faculty of Management Studies of the Open University of Sri Lanka. Ladies and gentlemen, this year, we will explore the theme of business management, entrepreneurship, and international relations for a resilient future. So, on that proud note, to officially inaugurate the event and pay respect to our alma mater, let us stand for our national anthem. Thank you so much, respected gathering. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite all the dignitaries present here today at ICOME 2024 to join us in the traditional lighting of oil lamp, a symbol of wisdom, knowledge, and the spirit of learning. I would like to invite Senior Professor PMZ Tilakaratna, Vice Chancellor, the Open University of Sri Lanka, Senior Professor Sampath Amaratunga, Chairman, University Grants Commission, Sri Lanka, Dr. Ramula Rasool, Director, Postgraduate Institute of English, Professor DDA Pieratna, Dean, Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, Professor GWAR Fernando, Dean, Faculty of Natural Sciences, Dr. LSK Udugama, Dean, Faculty of Engineering Technology, Dr. DBMD Silva, Dean, Faculty of Education, Professor BSSD Silva, Dean, Faculty of Health Sciences, Professor Nalina Besekara, Dean, Faculty of Management Studies and Conference Chair, ICOME 2024. Senior Professor Shyama Veerakon, Director, Research Unit, the Open University of Sri Lanka, Professor V. Sivalokadasan, Founding Dean, Faculty of Management Studies. Professor LPS Gamini, in Accounting and Finance, Faculty of Management and Studies. Professor Champika Lianagamage, Head Department of Accounting and Finance. Dr. Prajna Senaviratna, Head Department of Organization Studies, Faculty of Management Studies. Dr. Sujivi Sapukotanege, Head Department of Marketing Management, Faculty of Management and Studies. P. Sujivani Mutunayaka, Assistant General Manager, Procurement, Planning and Monitoring, National Water Supply and Drainage Board. Dr. Janaka Hinkenda, Conference Secretary, ICOME 2024. Professor C.S.D. Silva, Acting Director, Center for Educational Technology and Media. Mr. Anuska Bandara, Acting Director, Regional Educational Services. Ms. H.P.S.D. Gunasekara, Deputy Librarian. Ms. Vindhya Jayasena, Registrar of the Open University of Sri Lanka. Dr. W.M.K.G.A. Vikramasinghe, the Burza, the Open University of Sri Lanka. Thank you so much, dear honorable invitees, ladies and gentlemen. Next, we have a graceful traditional dance performance, a reflection of our cultural heritage. Let us all enjoy the rhythm and artistry of beautiful tradition. Thank you to our talented performers for the wonderful presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my pleasure to invite our esteemed guests to the head table. Please join me in welcoming Senior Professor PMZ Tilakaratna, Vice Chancellor of the University of Sri Lanka, Senior Professor Sampath Amaratunga, Chief Guest, Chairman, University Grants Commission, Sri Lanka, Professor Nalina Besekara, Dean, Faculty of Management Studies, the Conference Chair, Senior Professor Shama Veerakon, Director Research Unit of the Open University of Sri Lanka, Dr. Janaka Hinkenda, Conference Secretary, ICOME 2024. We are honored by your presence today and kindly invite you to take your places at the head table. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's my great honor to invite Professor Nalina Besekara, the Chair of ICOME 2024, the Dean of the Faculty of Management Studies, the Open University of Sri Lanka, to deliver the welcome speech.
A very good morning to all distinguished guests. Professor Sampath Amaratunga, Senior Professor, Chairman of the University Grant Commission, the Vice Chancellor of the Open University, Professor PMC Tilakaratna, respected keynote speakers, Professor Richard Shulan, then other particular keynote speakers, Professor Hussein Hassani and Professor Dilani Jayawardena, Senior Professor Shama Veerakon, Chair, Deans of all the faculties, the Registrar, Bursa, Director of CETMe, Director of RES, Professor V.C. Valogadasan, our founding Dean, all other heads of the department, staff members, and more importantly, dear presenters. As the Dean of the Faculty of Management Studies and Chair of ICOME, it is my great pleasure to warmly welcome you to the 3rd International Conference on Management and Entrepreneurship. I would also like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to track chairs, speakers, and presenters whose contribution are invaluable to this event. So this year's theme, Business Management, Entrepreneurship, and International Relations for a Resilient Future, comes at a critical juncture. As we clearly know, now there are certain changes in political and social context being happens. So we need to have a kind of understanding of these social and ethical and cultural changes by given the context of the country. In that scenario, so we navigate the political and social changes within Sri Lanka and globally, and the need for a resilient entrepreneurial approach to business has never become more urgent. Technically, we have to be very concerned about the entrepreneurial orientation. We are in Sri Lankan context, the 52% of the contribution made by the entrepreneur SME sector, and more importantly, 48% of the GDP, by looking at the employment also contributed by the SME sector. So in that particular context, we must embrace a localized mindset. So globalization, not globalization, think global, act local. So integrating the global best practices within local relevance to create sustainable competitive advantage. So the Faculty of Management Studies at OUSL takes pride in contributing to the most important conversation with over 40 years of history. Our faculty has been a pioneer in advancing management education in Sri Lanka. I still cherish the memories of chairing the inaugural ICOME in 2022, where Professor Philip Kotler and other leading minds grace us in their wisdom. More importantly, I can remember that particular first conference also, Senior Professor Sampath Amaratunga and Professor PMC Tilakarasna, with their blessings, actually we initiated our first conference. Today in our third iteration, we embark on another exciting journey. This time we are holding a physical event, a testament of our resilience and dedication. It has been a privilege to work with all our authors, reviewers, chairs, and moderators, and I'm confident that ICOME 2024 will be a resounding success. And more importantly, our conference secretary, Dr. Janaki Hinkenda, and all the faculty members across the board contributed for this. I wish everyone a productive and inspiring conference, and I look forward to the knowledge and collaborations that will emerge from these discussions. Together, we are shaping a resilient future. Thank you, and I wish you all the best for a memorable ICOME 2024.
Thank you, Professor Nalina Besekara, for your insightful words. I warmly welcome Senior Professor Sampath Amaratunga to 3rd International Conference on Management and Entrepreneurship, and we are honored your presence today. Ladies and gentlemen, let me cordially invite Senior Professor PMZ Tilakaratna, the Vice Chancellor of the Open University of Sri Lanka, to address the gathering.
Very good morning to every one of you. Senior Professor Sampath Amaratunga, Chairman, the University Grant Commission, and the Chief Guest of today's conference, Dean, Faculty of Commerce and Management Studies, Professor Nalina Besekara, other Deans of Faculties, the Professor Anton Pieratna, representing as a Dean of the Faculty of Medicine and Social Sciences, and Professor Sunil S. De Silva, the Dean, Faculty of Health Sciences, and Registrar of the University, and Directors, Director, Center for Technology and Media, Director Research, Professor Shama Virakon, and Director Regional Education Services, and professors, heads of the departments, and Director Regional Education Services, assistant directors, and some more, and all the the academics, and then again we have today keynote speakers, Professor Richard Suchilian and Professor Dilani Jayavarna and Professor Hossein Hazani, and all other administrative staff, non-academic staff members of the university, and dear presenters, ladies and gentlemen. It is an absolute pleasure to address you in this morning of this inauguration ceremony of the 3rd International Conference on Management and Entrepreneurship. Faculty of Management Studies is the youngest faculty of the university, but it is one of the progressive faculties in the Open University of Sri Lanka. This international conference is one of the flagship events of the university calendar as well as the faculty. Of course, this event brings together the academia, practitioners, and the industry to celebrate on contemporary challenges of the economy. In acronym, this is known as ICOME 2024. It is the 3rd international conference organized by this Faculty of Management Studies, has picked the timely, important topic, that is business management, entrepreneurship, and international relations for resilient future. I am very much concerned about when the last two wordings, resilient future. Everyone is looking forward to, of course, have here in Sri Lanka resilient future. As we all aware, the economic crisis, coupled with other uncertainties in our country as well as in the world, has transformed every aspect of our human life. resulting in a complete revolution in lifestyle. This unprecedented situation has led policymakers and business leaders worldwide to explore and adapt strategies to suit the crisis. Within this context, crisis is everywhere. Now, let's say, now day before yesterday, now let's say fuel prices reduced by margin, by a margin. So at the same time, the same night that we heard again crisis where Iran and Israel. Now they are in the that in between the war, and some other countries also supporting. I'm not that knowing. I mean naming those countries, so that you are very well aware where the crisis is. Though that that oil price are reduced, that next week also that where the maybe the oil price will be double. That is a crisis. So that within this context, the ICOME 2024 offers a platform to initiate dialogue among the members of the academia and the industry, representing not only the country but the region as well, to revisit innovative emerging practices and to identify how best to cope up challenges in managing the crisis and to achieve the resilience as we have mentioned. ICOME 2024 features not only, of course, presenting research papers, but other three main events, namely doctoral colloquium, virtual 3 minutes competition, and the industry forum. That is, of course, where the embedded this all series of activities to give the real, that meaning to the international conference. Of course, that we are very well aware, PhD colloquium offers the opportunity for the next generation of national and international researchers to further hone their research skills by presenting their postgraduate research in progress to an internationally scholarly audience. 3 minutes competition in the same way provides a challenge to the researcher to convince the general audience what is about this his whole or her research in an abstract way. The industry forum, of course, we have concluded yesterday very successfully. We are invited to the university premises. We have a very rich Center for Technology and Media House, so that again representing telecommunication industry, and again the media, again insurance industry, and that one of the, of course, that major bankers, People's Bank of Sri Lanka, the chairman, of course, they have shared with us what's the that industry perspectives to this economy, and how that we look forward to manage or to again grab the opportunities, as well as how that we are going to tackle all the obstacles in the future. Now, I firmly believe that strong and mutually beneficial links will be created between the academia and the business community through the research presented and discussed in these technical sessions. Because especially the Faculty of Management Studies, not only that, all our faculties, Chairman Professor Sampath Amaratunga, so our university is distinguished from other universities. We offer all that degree programs, diploma programs, and postgraduate programs, all that industry oriented. So that we are happy to note that our graduates are all employed, not unemployed. So, but maybe unemployed, that population is there till they that, of course, acquire their that set of skills. So therefore, the journey towards national development cannot be reached alone. Everyone is knowing, because we cannot live isolatedly. It is an outcome reached as a result of collaborative efforts of academia and business communities always. Again, the success of a conference of this nature depends on team effort. Everyone might think that why that we have selected this kind of a venue. Of course, we have 35 acres land in here, the Nawala, and we have, of course, resources. It's a resourceful university scattered all over the country. But again, there should be a change. There should be a change in attitudes. There should be a change in atmosphere that we are working. There should be a change in that overall thinking patterns of that all academics as well as administrators. So therefore, feeling different always giving some insights for the future as well, always I believe. So therefore, I take this opportunity to appreciate the able leadership of the Dean of the Faculty, of course, Conference Chair, I could mention, and again, the Dr. Janaka Hinkenda, the Conference Secretary, and of course, on the finance, not supported, but all, that official matters concluded, our Bursa, Dr. Vikramasinghe, and all other, of course, the supporters of this conference. So therefore, I owe special thanks to this faculty, that heads of the departments and all young academics, because again, I am thankful to our chief guest, Senior Professor Sampath Amarthu, Chairman, University Grant Commission. Of course, on our request, of course, he is the person, of course, one can say that as the chairman, it's a duty of him to, that approve the 4 departments to the faculty. But during his tenure, of course, he has approved 4 departments and to the Faculty of Management Studies, as well as 10 academic permanent staff member positions also allocated. So I am thankful to him as well. Due to this young team with my again other existed that old team as well, coupled with this 2, of course, resources, this that event of course became very colorful today. I am very happy with this organizing capacity of the faculty. So therefore, especially I commend the cohesive and dedicated efforts of all young academics of the Faculty of Management Studies. Further, I appreciate the local and foreign researchers who share their expertise and knowledge today, and the business community for taking part for deliberations to today's technical sessions. I hope, so this again, this is the 3rd consecutive year, this that conference will continue forever. So within the Open University of Sri Lanka, and to create, of course, that international goodwill to the university, as well as we are again promoting as the Open University of Sri Lanka, the international footprint. Of course, this kind of international conferences definitely will that support in our that mission, because we have at the same time Chairman Professor Sampath Amarthu, we have revised our strategic management plan. Of course, the suggestion also came from the Dean Faculty of Management Studies, because we do understand during this crisis, resilience is needed. So it is not the resilience of the country. If the country, wherever that it will sail, but the institutions like that public universities here in Sri Lanka will work standalone basis for the development, definitely this country will achieve the resilience and the success. We are never bankrupt, though the bankrupt status declared by the state, but the universities are not bankrupt. So thank you very much. I wish all the very best for this International Conference ICOME 2024, and all the very best for the future endeavors as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring words. Ladies and gentlemen, now it is my distinct honor to introduce our chief guest of the ICOME 2024, Senior Professor Sampath Amarthu, Chairman of the University Grants Commission, Sri Lanka. Senior Professor Sampath Amarthu has been an instrumental figure in the advancement of higher education in the country, and we are privileged to have him share his thoughts with us today. Please give me a warm round of applause to Senior Professor Sampath Amaratunga.
Very good morning, distinguished Vice Chancellor, Open University of Sri Lanka, Dean of the Faculty of Management, and members of the head table, of course, former Dean of the Faculty of Management, I would say founder Dean, yes, academia, deans of other faculties, registrar, librarian, Bursa and their team, participants, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted to be here. Everybody knows because I am also from the same field like you, VC. So we always go here and there for conferences. Day before yesterday, I have attended one. So Vaunia wanted me to come. I said, I will be in Colombo and deliver my speech from my office. Then Kilinochi, everybody, because we are a team, all deans know. So, but anyway, this is, OUSL is very close. Then sometimes I just imagine cost of a conference. Cost of a conference. Sometimes some conferences, if you calculate the cost, maybe more than 10, 15, 20, 25 million. So I simply ask organizers, please tell me average cost of a paper. My goodness. One paper costs 2 million, 3 million. Have you charged? No, free. But if you go to England, you have to pay. Then only you can get the ticket. Otherwise, no. If it is lunch given in a small corner somewhere, you get apple juice and orange juice, biscuit with cheese. Then for dessert, apple or another fruit, that is this thing. We give kottu roti, right? Biryani, the full of food, like a wedding, breakfast, lunch, everything. But looking at this conference, I am delighted. Thank you, OUSL, VC, Dean, and Academia. You are partnering with Emerald. That is the most important thing. You are partnering with Emerald. You may have spent millions, but what is you are going to gain? Do you think just publishing an abstract or few papers, your ranking will go up? Never. Nobody knows. No one knows. But you have spent millions for food and other things. So you are very well advanced and good model for all other management faculties. Even though you are the youngest, I who work with OUSL, and I have done that. When I was, handling the first standing committee, I had 10 pages, the agenda, 10 pages. 10 pages, you just imagine. Now it's one paper, 2 pages. One paper, 2 pages. And normally within 30 minutes, I finish the standing committee. Green is here. So like that, because of that methodology, we have given you the faculty within very short period of time. Then 4 departments, I have given another 4 or 5 to Kalaniya also. And I have requested 10 from Jayawardhanapura. I asked, give me 10 departments, 10 degree programs. You have 14. Some of the departments are 60, 70 years old. Why don't you have a spreadsheet, have all subjects what you teach, keep your departments and degrees away, and why don't you select subjects and have another 10 more degrees? Simply, you don't need to have new departments, you don't need to have new cadres, but you can offer another 10 because you have 150 academic staff, nearly 100 PhDs. How many professors? I have asked, give me 10. So, I know my time is limited, still I am waiting. Even today in the morning, I have contacted Dushan. I am doing some follow-up sometimes. I said, come and see me at 5 o'clock. I have 45 minutes to 1 hour to have a chat. Come. So by looking at all these, I am really happy. And then the media, only you have this. You are on web, you are on cloud. I have checked from Dean how many are on Zoom. Right, 30 to 50. Normally inaugurations are boring, no? Even I don't log and watch the inauguration. When we go anywhere, we have a cup of tea, have a chat, meet people. It's networking. Maybe the keynote, you gain something. Other than that, normally people won't log and listen. But here you have 30. So this is the standards of Harvard. This is what they do. Whatever they publish, they have a third party. You can say, I am number 1, I am number 2, I am the largest, and we are there. But you have to ask that question from the third party. That is quality assurance. You have to ask from somebody else, who is best, who is biggest, who is doing well. You can't say, I am the best. You can't say. So you take down, these are the points actually catch me really happy. So during this, we have talked about crisis as well. We have opened 16 faculties, including this. Just to imagine 16 faculties. Then how many departments? 64. How many degree programs? 76. Postgraduate, 99. But external, I have given only science. We were very strict. on employability. Then things are okay, I'm really happy. Thank you very much. Keeping standards. Otherwise, few papers and they bring those papers requesting professorships, right? New circular is ready. New circular is ready. We see Vaunia also there, yes. I also opened that one, that university as well, he knows, yes, during this crisis. Then, little about management and entrepreneurship. Everybody knows what is management. You have limited resources, you have to get the maximum. There is a process, so you have to have 100% efficiency. Then only you can survive. Forget about profits, that's there. Then entrepreneurship, its ability to run a business. I don't know why you have not taken development here, only management and entrepreneurship. But development is again another important part. That is invention. That is invention. So innovation, it's simply, if you have something, you add something new to that, that will become an innovation. But invention is totally a new one. So Vice Chancellor talked about the crisis. I was thrilled when he mentioned petrol prices. So I said, Lal, you are live. Thank you talking about something, you know, what is happening today. That means you are not going to bring your old books here and turn everything and trying to teach the audience, right? So you are alert. You are alert. You are vigilant. Without that, you know, I am very scared sometimes, being an economist, I always check interest rates, exchange rate in the morning, I check, because I am scared if somebody, you know, maybe a newspaper, if somebody asks, what is the exchange rate today? So if I, you know, reply, so I believe, how can I say I am a professor? How, even though I have the title, how can you, you know, say that you are a professor if you are not live, you are not vigilant? So it's very scared. Becoming a professor is not that easy if you are serious. If you are not serious, doesn't matter, right? Then any question, anything you can reply. Then what I want to tell you, I have never ever heard anywhere in this country somebody really rationally talking about crisis. The word crisis we always use. We always use. From the parliament to the society, everybody use this word. But this crisis in capitalism, studied by Marx, Karl Marx. If you really want to know what is crisis, you have to study Marxism. Because Marxians studied the weaknesses of capitalism. Capitalists, their schools, they have never ever come forward and present that they have a weakness like a crisis. Everybody knows what is the crisis: continuous declining of the economy, huge unemployment, high interest rates, high inflation, right? You cannot manage the system. It's called crisis. So because this is from the Marxian side, in our textbooks, this topic is not in. Sometimes if you are studying finance, business economics, in business fluctuations, in some of the textbooks, you get 10, 12 small chapters dedicated for crisis. But they never come to the depth of crisis and explain. So according to this Marxian crisis, just by looking at stores, if you are in a company, just by looking at stores, storekeeper can. There are some theories related to stores, can identify company is going for a crisis. So like that, the Kondrativ, if you Google, you can find Kondrativ, the person, a Russian economist, found this full historical data set and developed a waves called long waves. You get ups, then peak, and then come down. After a while, then again you get this up wave, again come down. When you are moving upwards, that means only because of invention. That is the link to development. It's not poverty or something, right? It's linked to invention. The world's first invention was development of canals. Yodel, 1 inch per mile, the level. So when that was the most important invention, we were there. We were there. This is the analysis. This is the analysis. Have you all heard anything like this about crisis? No. Nobody knows about crisis. I challenge. Because in US books, as I said, there is no such chapters. If you have not concerned the Marxian economics, you will never know. That's true. I wrote an abstract maybe 20, 25 years ago. The topic was Karl Marx in capitalism. That was rejected. Right. Then I showed my department colleagues, look at this. This is, sometimes if you just look at this looks like funny, right? But if you have to go through this, and if you really know the Marxian economics, then only you get the acceptance. අර හැරෙන තැපැලෙන් ආවා කියන්නේ හැරෙන තැපැලෙන් ආවා rejected කියලා from Srijayawardhanapura. Then I said, my colleagues, when I work, everybody knows I work with friends. Even in the class, I treat my students as my friends. I work with that environment. Otherwise, I cannot work. Right? Then I have asked our junior staff, can you all find who have rejected this. That is wrong. But because I actually want to, enjoy myself, right? So I asked, can you all find? Then everybody said, sir, we are trying this. Give us another 3 days, 2 days. We are having lot of, links with people. They don't say anything. I said, no, you have to somehow find and let me know who dropped this one. Then one day, a student of mine, now he is a professor, right? He said, sir, I know the person. I said, actually, please tell me whether he's having a PhD, and I just want to know from where he got the PhD. That's all. So he said, he's from Hawaii. I said, okay. Definitely, they have, they don't know, really speaking. Knowing, if you don't know, that's all right. That's okay. But the organizers have missed judging the abstract. They have not directed the abstract to a correct person. That is the worry still I have. So that person is a good friend of mine. I have never discussed with him. I don't know whether he is online today. So nobody knows. Nobody knows. So with the first invention, development, we were there. You know what is next? Next is 18th century to early 19th century, industrial revolution driven by textile, iron, steam power. Real inventions. I will explain you quickly after this. Next wave, 19th century, railways. Even if you know the history, cost of coffee and tea reduced by 40% with the introduction of railway in Sri Lanka. So you can just imagine, if you can reduce 40% the cost, how much the productivity improves. Then next wave, chemicals and engines. Fourth wave, automobile and aviation. Fifth one, 1960s, what's it? Computers. IBM, International Business Machine. That is in 60s. With 60s, Singapore, South Korea, Hong Kong, all Asian tigers came to the limelight. That is the inside this thing. That's called development. That is linked with invention. That is why R&D is very expensive. That is why R&D is expensive, and companies are spending huge amount of money. There only you get profits. But today, computers cannot do anything. But without computers, we cannot live. What has happened? Technology has become common. These are Marxian words, not Sampath Amaratunga's. Technology has become common. Everybody have. If you are a junior lecturer, definitely you have 15 Apple. If you are a professor, maybe 12. Wife, definitely 9 or 10 then. That is the way that we change our instruments, no? So that has become common. Even if you have money, you can't get the next one. It's innovation. the next version of Word you cannot get because it's not available. So computers cannot do anything. So everybody concerned, microchips will change the world, right? So that is our dream. So this is all, if you go through this Marxian critics, even no time, I don't want to do a lecture, even these petrol prices, everything in this, theory. So I was thrilled when he started that. So thank you very much. Wonderful faculty and Harvard standards, huge improvement because you have results. You have results. You were a small part of another faculty. You moved from that main, right? And because of that, you have something, and Nalin was asking money to have another new building when I was seated there. So that's good. I really like, yes, I really like. සල්ලි ටිකක් දෙන්න පුළුවන් ද බිල්ඩින් එකක් හදන්න. Right. ඒකට එන්න කිව්වා වගේ. Right. Oh, right. Okay. Thank you very much and wish you all the best. Right.
Thank you, Senior Professor Sampath Amaratunga, for your inspiring words and for gracing this event with your presence. Ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, we officially hand over the conference proceedings of ICOME 2024. The dedication and hard work of researchers, scholars, and organizers are encapsulated in these proceedings, which will serve as an invaluable resource for our academic and professional community. I would like to invite Professor Nalin Abesekara, the conference chair of ICOME 2024, and Senior Professor PMC Tilakaratna, the Vice Chancellor of the Open University of Sri Lanka, to hand over the conference proceedings. Thank you so much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my privilege to invite Professor Nalin Abesekara, Dean of the Faculty of Management Studies and Conference Chair, to introduce our first keynote speaker for today's session.
Dr. Richard Schulen is an esteemed associate professor at Solent University specializing in business and marketing. He serves as the research group convener for regenerative enterprise and entrepreneurship and has over 20 years of academic experience. Dr. Schulen is a recognized authority of marketization. So marketization can be considered as one of the very interesting and important subject in current phenomena in the business, even in the economics. The marketing communication, civic culture, and political communication with more than 40 peer-reviewed journal articles and 5 edited books. So more importantly, the book of Marketization of Higher Education and Student as Consumer, his PhD from the London School of Economics, focused on consumer behavior and influence on democratic processes, a perspective that has shaped much of his research. Dr. Shulan's work now centered on entrepreneurship and critically informed pedagogy, particularly within higher education. His contribution has gained national and international recognition, including invitation to present at leading academic conferences and a notable discussion on political market strategies in Washington, USA. In addition to his research, Dr. Shulan is a dedicated educator and principal fellow of Advanced HE. He has successfully supervised numerous PhD students and was awarded the Solent University Vice Chancellor's Award for outstanding contribution to teaching and research in 2020. Before academia, Dr. Shulan spent 2 decades as a marketing manager in the travel and media industry, bringing valuable practices to his academic career. He continues to engage with the industry through initiations like the knowledge transfer programs, further enhancing his impact in marketing, entrepreneurship, and higher education. As conference chair, it is my great pleasure to warmly welcome Dr. Richard Shulan as keynote speaker for ICOME 2024. Dr. Shulan's extensive expertise in business, marketing, and entrepreneurship, combined with his remarkable leadership in academia, make him an ideal choice to inspire and enlighten us at this prestigious event. His innovative research and profound insight into marketization, political communication, and higher education have shaped both academic discourse and industry practices, earning him global recognition. We are truly honored to have Professor Shulan share his knowledge and vision with us, and I am confident that his address will offer invaluable perspective to all in attendance. So I respectfully invite Professor Richard Shulan, Professor Business and Marketing, Solent University.
So, hello, and thank you very much for inviting me to attend, at least indirectly, the 3rd annual conference, all about entrepreneurship and education. Sadly, I can't be in Sri Lanka with you, but I'm in a long way away in the south of England, where you'll be pleased to know it's cold and wet, unlike where you are, I imagine. As the first slide suggests, I'm Richard Scullion, Associate Professor at Southampton Solent University, which is right on the south coast of England. And I've been asked to talk very briefly about one aspect of the many aspects that we could in terms of entrepreneurship. So I'm going to start with, if anyone has visited London, you may have visited and been on what we call the Tube, the Underground, and maybe you have a subway in Colombia. Anyway, either way, you may well know the sign that as you get on the Tube, it says, "Mind the Gap." And my talk briefly is simply entitled "Mind the Gaps." Notice the plural in that. And what do I mean by that? Here are the 4 of the many what I call gaps that I'd like you to ponder as we start, or as you start the conference today. So the first gap is the idea that entrepreneurship is for risk takers. Is it? The second gap, that entrepreneurs are highly ambitious. Are they? Third gap, entrepreneurship is about business. Just business? Really? And the fourth and final gap that I'll briefly talk about is the idea that entrepreneurship is in the male domain. So I've used the idea of gap. What I really want to convey to you is the gap in our perception. Is this really true? And are there other ways of thinking about entrepreneurship and risk and ambition and business and gender? And that's what my brief 10 minutes will be all about. I have a larger written report, which I will send to the organisers if you're interested. So let's move on. Tackle the first one. So this idea that entrepreneurship is for risk takers is interesting, and many people kind of automatically accept it. But then think about the founder of eBay, the CEO of Netflix, and also the CEO of Airbnb. 3 very successful global brands. All of those people have been recognized in either their biographies or autobiographies as people who are averse to risk. Notice that the founder of eBay, despite them being immediately successful, remained in his other day job for quite a long time, averse to risk. Reed Hastings really emphasizes the focus on long-term planning, risk aversion. And the CEO of Airbnb is known for, they would say careful, some say slow, risk-averse decision-making. And the fourth of these wonderfully well-known people and that demonstrate that success isn't necessarily linked to risk-taking in the context of entrepreneurship is myself. Although I'm nowhere near as conventionally successful as the 3 people on the slide above, some years ago I did leave a very well-paid commercial job to go into academia. The result of reducing my risk in many ways is contentment, a more reflective person, and I'm still alive, as in the pressure of the commercial world versus the pressure here, my blood pressure is a lot lower. So, one of the 4 things to contemplate. One of the 4 things. So risk actually can be just as much about thrill-seeking or about pure pleasure. And increasingly, neuroscientists are starting to suggest research that says when we look at the brain and risk, what we see is that it's emotionally led, not led by our head. So, I'm suggesting entrepreneurship for the risk taker? Not necessarily so. My second gap, ambition. It's interesting when you look for pictorial representations of ambition, these are the kinds of things you get. You get the idea of size, growth. You get the idea of impatience. What next? Once I've achieved something, the next goal, the next goal, and the next goal. And you get the ambition of ever higher, ever higher, ever higher. I wonder in that third picture on the screen where eventually that person goes. So this is one way, a general normative way, a dominant way that we think about ambition. But we can reimagine ambition. In fact, my argument is that people are increasingly reimagining the notion of ambition. So, according to a very famous author from the United States, really, maybe we should think of success in other ways, such as liking ourselves, liking what we do, liking how we do it, liking the fact that other people increasingly like us. A different way of thinking about ambition. And is one of many, but if people are interested, one of many authors that have written recently on this idea of, essentially this idea of staying small being the new big idea. A reimagining of ambition. And we all know particularly in the Western world because we've caused much of it, but we know that growth can't go on and on and on and on in the conventional ways of which we mean by growth. We have one world, we have one planet, and we probably have one choice, one chance, I should say. So, my second gap. Entrepreneurs are highly ambitious. Notice the apostrophes in ambitious. Maybe we're reimagining what we mean by ambition. And maybe historically this idea that entrepreneurs are ambitious is largely rhetorical and then isn't necessarily a need to be conventionally ambitious. The third gap is this another idea about entrepreneurship, and to overcome or challenge the third, I draw upon some of the Frankfurt School and increasingly the idea that's emerged of the entrepreneurial self, the internalized entrepreneur. So this sees entrepreneurship not as something we do and not as something that we achieve necessarily, but that's internal or internalized. One obvious example of that would be entrepreneurship when we think of it from a social perspective, social entrepreneurship. Nothing particularly new there, other than to emphasize that it's about social people. So there's a different emphasis here. This idea, therefore, that entrepreneurship has a different kind of power and a different kind of presence, where actually it can be all about civic society being the major stakeholder for entrepreneurship, not business, about how we organize our society, how we place values on our society, what matters to us, notions of equality, notions of fairness, notions of living together harmoniously, notions of entrepreneurial government or governance. So papers have been written on it, books have been written on it, and the essence of it is this notion of trying to think of entrepreneurship outside of traditional business, their structures and systems, but also, therefore, importantly, their modes of thinking. In fact, increasingly what we find is entrepreneurship within your life. An example here of somebody who has decided to use some of their valuable time to enjoy art, to try art, to see if art gives them some kind of fulfillment, the entrepreneurial self. So my argument here, supported by other people, I've gone too fast there, is entrepreneurship is about business? Well, yes, it is. But no, it's far, far more than just about business and just about thinking in business ways. So the fourth gap, which you've already had a little sneak preview of, is entrepreneurship being in the male domain. Some of you may have heard of or read this quite famous book from some years ago now, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And if you haven't read it, it really doesn't matter, because the background it's on tells us the notion that I'm trying to challenge within the context of entrepreneurship, which is this idea of females, males, different. On pink, cuddly, nice. On blue, less cuddly, more assertive. Really? Again, I draw on fairly recent neuroscience, which has looked at brains and started to examine brains and male and female bodies. And what do they find? These pictures illustrate what they find. Color coding apart, very, very little difference. Of course, some of us will buy into this idea of gender, feminine, masculine. But if you look at that long list, notice two things. One, the word stereotype, i.e., these are often imposed upon females and males. And the second thing to look at are the little crosses that I've done on my left-hand side, so it might be on your right-hand side. Each of those crosses represents a trait that I myself, as a male, possess. I'm not aggressive. I'm fairly easily hurt emotionally. I'm talkative, you can see. I'm sensitive to others' feelings. I'm kind, I think. I can be tactful. lots of those things. So these things are, of course, more than being challenged. They've largely been dismissed by most people who are willing to have open minds about this issue. So this idea that females were once needing of protection, that they struggled to achieve, that they constantly were craving other people to support, that they were frightened of doing things. Nonsense. Look at the pictures. Some of these people may well be familiar to you, the audience. This is just a very small number of females who have in various areas, government, business, culture, education, succeeded. None of this is a surprise, of course. What we need to do is place this in the context of entrepreneurship so that that gap, that perceptual myth is broken. Here's two ways of representing two different groups of people in society. Again, on my left-hand side, we see a whole bunch of characteristics and two lines, a blue line and an orange line. And on the right-hand side, we have a bar chart representing pioneering, sales-oriented, management, specialist. What are these two things about? Let's reveal it. What are these two things about? These two things are comparing female and male. And what do we notice when we have a very quick look at this slide, or even a slow look at this slide? What we notice is almost identical, almost no difference between the genders in terms of these attributes and these skill sets. And these are some facts that perhaps in the world of entrepreneurship we often conveniently forget. That males and females share 99.9% of their DNA sequence and structure. That men and women have, on average, a difference of 0.19 when measured in terms of the psychological personality dimensions of people. 0.19, minimal. And those people that have researched young infants, babies, what might be called pro-social humans before they start to be fully socialized, find almost no gender differences in terms of their behavior or their emotion, until, of course, we start to socialize them differently. So none of this might be a surprise. The point of it is to put it into our sphere and say entrepreneurship, the male domain, a socially constructed myth that we can break, and we have a responsibility of doing our share of the work in breaking. So my very brief talk, apologies that it is so brief, but I understand you have a packed day and rest of the conference. So my talk is really about saying one of the things we might want to think about is closing these gaps, breaking down these four strong perceptual misunderstandings about entrepreneurship, I would suggest. Let's close the gaps. Entrepreneurship's not just for risk takers. Entrepreneurs can be ambitious, but they also don't have to be, and they can also challenge notions of what we mean by success. Entrepreneurship is about all aspects of society. It has no special enclave within the world of business. And entrepreneurship is, of course, a female domain, both, I would argue. Here's just a few, if you're interested, of the many studies that have helped me to understand that challenging these myths about entrepreneurship is neither new, novel, but also not just based on my own beliefs. A few. If you want more of them, if you want this list, the organisers will let you have it. So I leave you with a picture of somewhere I'd prefer to be than where I am, where you are. I hope the rest of the conference goes really good. I hope you've, if not enjoyed, at least got some thoughts out of this brief talk. And again, hope it goes really well. I wish everybody success. And I also wish that I could have been there, but I'm there in spirit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Richard, for that thought-provoking address. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to invite Professor Champika Lianagamage to introduce our second keynote speakers for today's session.
Good morning. Professor Dilani Jayawarna is currently a professor of entrepreneurship and the director of research at the University of Liverpool Management School, UK. Her academic journey began with an undergraduate degree in engineering from the University of Moratuwa, Sri Lanka, after which she pursued and completed a PhD in business and management at Manchester Business School, University of Manchester. Throughout her career, Professor Jayawarna has been at the forefront of entrepreneurship research and education. She serves as the consulting editor for the International Small Business Journal and co-editor for the Journal of Entrepreneurship and Regional Development, reflecting her significant influence on academic publishing. Over the course of 5 years, she co-edited the International Journal of Entrepreneurial Behavior and Research and chaired the Entrepreneurship Special Interest Group at the British Academy of Management for 6 years. Her research explores critical issues in entrepreneurship and small business management with a particular focus on entrepreneurial life course and the development of theory around entrepreneurial opportunity structures and their intersections with broader social dynamics. Professor Jayawarna's work is distinguished by its interdisciplinary approach, blending economics, sociology, and management to address the complexities of entrepreneurial ecosystem. Her outstanding contributions have earned her numerous awards and recognitions. Professor Jayawarna has been honored with Best Paper Awards from major UK conferences, including British Academy of Management and the Institute of Small Business and Entrepreneurship. Additionally, her leadership roles within key research advisory boards such as ESRC Peer Review Committee and the UK's panel study of entrepreneurial dynamics underscore her status as a thought leader in the field. Beyond her research, Professor Jayawarna is deeply involved in teaching and mentoring. She plays a pivotal role in postgraduate and doctoral education at the Management School of Liverpool University, Management School of Lancaster University, and the University of Nottingham, guiding the next generation of scholars and practitioners in entrepreneurship. It is an extraordinary privilege to have a highly esteemed scholar with us today. I am confident that Professor Jayawarna's expertise and insight will inspire and inform us all, offering valuable perspectives on the ever-evolving nature of entrepreneurship.
Called the availability of assistance and the support services that facilitate the startup process. The combination of entrepreneurs and the elements of that contribute to entrepreneurial mean. Can I just quickly check if it's all going through well? Can I continue? Can I just check if I'm okay to continue? Right, okay, sorry. Because I can't see the conference stage. It's just me talking to myself on the screen. But let me continue then. So I was talking about the munificence, right? The combination of entrepreneurs and the elements of that contribute to entrepreneurial magnificence alludes to the entrepreneurial ecosystem concept. The notion of an entrepreneurial ecosystem has been gaining prominence since the early 1990s when ecological concepts started to filter into entrepreneurship research. Since it was first introduced, the concept has been great interest for scholars, policymakers, and as well as for various social actors. In simple terms, we can define entrepreneurial ecosystem as a community of diverse and interdependent actors who support self-sustainable processes of venture creation by interacting in complex ways within a venture-conducive environment. So by introducing a systems perspective, so ecosystems has actually introduced this systems perspective into the study of entrepreneurship. And it acknowledges that entrepreneurship does not start and stop with the actions of an entrepreneur or their firms, but instead entrepreneurship thrives when multiple actors and sectors work together to create a supportive environment for entrepreneurs to perform. Of course, entrepreneurs and their firms are essential ingredients and an outcome of successful entrepreneurial ecosystems, but it is the combined effort that makes the entrepreneurship to work. While the concept of entrepreneurial ecosystem is now a prominent topic and an important stream in entrepreneurship research, the question of how ecosystem can specially promote sustainable entrepreneurship has been raised by the policy community. Now, in driving towards a knowledge economy and in meeting sustainable goals, universities have emerged as one of the essential levers of entrepreneurial development in an ecosystem. Literature explains that universities play a multifaceted role in contemporary knowledge-based entrepreneurial ecosystems. They are recognized as producers of knowledge and therefore of economic dynamism. In addition to the traditional activities of teaching and research, universities have progressively taken on a more entrepreneurial role in order to respond to the third mission, which requires them to contribute to the economic development of regions and even of nations. When talking about the third mission, the regional level stakeholder relationships explained through triple helix model seems relevant. Now, the triple helix model proposes for a new social contract between the university and the larger society. The original work that proposed triple helix model and the work that followed points out that the interaction in university, industry, government is the key to improving the conditions for innovation in a knowledge-based society and revitalizing declining economies. Analysis of the role of the universities have evolved within the entrepreneurial ecosystem literature. This research found that universities play a key role as anchor organizations because they not only contribute to the continuing advancement of science, technology, know-how and skills, but also through taking a leadership role, promoting a culture that supports the creation of entrepreneurial thinking among its beneficiaries to fulfill their economic and social potential. Universities can provide a range of resources to entrepreneurial ecosystems. New technologies that create entrepreneurial opportunities, physical facilities such as incubators, lab facilities open to the entrepreneurs, human capital, producing entrepreneurially oriented competent individuals by means of teaching and other education activities, knowledge capital, technology and research, and entrepreneurship capital, creation of spin-offs and entrepreneurial mindsets. Additionally, universities may play an important role in reproducing the social mechanisms that underpin and facilitate the birth and growth of businesses. For example, through creating and connecting entrepreneurs in their networks, thereby enabling entrepreneurs to acquire resources, knowledge, and support from the actors of the entrepreneurial ecosystem. University-based entrepreneurial ecosystems have seen as subsystems of large regional or local entrepreneurial ecosystems, or as entrepreneurial ecosystems on their own. Another important topic that has gained traction in the academic literature is the entrepreneurial ecosystem policy formulation. Now, entrepreneurship policy more generally covers a diverse range of policies, all aiming to increase entrepreneurial activity by fostering a continuous flows of entrepreneurs and creating conditions that enable the success of their enterprises. OECD outlined 3 types of entrepreneurship policies. The first one is improving institutional conditions for entrepreneurship. The second is providing direct support to entrepreneurs and startups. Then finally, adopting a holistic approach to support the development of entrepreneurial ecosystems. So entrepreneurial ecosystem policies can therefore be considered a subset of the broader group of entrepreneurship policies. We have examples from many parts of the world suggesting entrepreneurial ecosystem popularity has led national governments and regional authorities to enthusiastically adopt the concept, but very little has been done in relation to developing public policies aimed at creating and expanding entrepreneurial ecosystems. The literature and the popular press agrees that the type of entrepreneurial policy requires for promoting entrepreneurial ecosystem is very complex. Entrepreneurial ecosystem policies must engage multiple actors, including entrepreneurs, national and regional governments, intermediary organizations such as universities, etc., to succeed in developing a context conducive to productive entrepreneurship that is essential for a thriving entrepreneurial ecosystem. The literature has acknowledged that the challenges for this type of policy are different and more demanding than those that have been addressed by the still prevalent framework policies. Advancing research on entrepreneurial ecosystem is therefore crucial for advising policy makers on how to formulate effective entrepreneurial ecosystem policies that are decisive for developing supportive ecosystems to promote entrepreneurship. Specifically, we have no empirical evidence from developing countries explaining the impacts and challenges related to ecosystems and their contributions to a more sustainable future. Lacking such solid and coherent theoretical foundations and empirical evidence, entrepreneurial ecosystem policies risk being ineffective, while policymakers tend to simply replicate entrepreneurial ecosystem policies from other policies or simply trying to replicate policies from other countries. Various researchers have started to address this issue by providing guidance on key parameters to inform the formulation of entrepreneurial ecosystem policies. For example, a recently published research in Academia Management Journal proposes 3 characteristics that are strongly associated with the fundamental aspects of the ecosystem concept and offered advice to set up ecosystem policy. Firstly, they advise that entrepreneurial ecosystem policies must adopt a holistic approach diverging from previous entrepreneurship policies and must act on the macro and micro level institution environments. It has been argued that in entrepreneurial ecosystems, siloed policies interventions tend to be less effective. So for example, supporting entrepreneurial ecosystem or research at local universities, but without creating an attractive environment for graduates to stay in the region and develop their ventures will not create benefits. Then secondly, they explain the holistic approach to developing entrepreneurial ecosystem actually necessitates a mix of diverse policy types, with different policies considered more complementary than mutually exclusive. The systematic perspective of entrepreneurship introduced by the ecosystem concept, particularly its complex and interconnected nature, significantly impacts entrepreneurial ecosystem policy formation. Then finally, this literature explains that entrepreneurial ecosystem policies must support the effective allocation of resources towards productive entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship activity and innovation are highly correlated with productivity. Access to and efficient use of resources are particularly crucial for peripheral underdeveloped regions, where public support through entrepreneurial ecosystem policies is essential to offer access to fundamental resources and create more favorable context for entrepreneurship. This work is very important, but it is only a beginning. The message, however, is very clear. Entrepreneurial ecosystems are complex, multi-layered, self-organizing, highly interconnected systems, and entrepreneurial ecosystem policies must consider the unique local context, including available resources, culture, and institutions that strongly influence the persistence of entrepreneurship. In the absence of a strong entrepreneurial ecosystem, entrepreneurship and venture creation cannot be nurtured. As I mentioned before, universities have a large role to play here, not only in building conducive ecosystems, but also produce research evidence to formulate meaningful ecosystem policies. Universities should be key factors fostering entrepreneurial behaviors and innovative activities. Their actions should benefit individuals with entrepreneurial interest and those with potential, and should support private sector actors in scaling up their ventures and achieving firm level growth. So going back to where I started, leading international scholars provide a timely consideration of how and why entrepreneurship matters for economic development, particularly in emerging and developing economies. Conference Chair Professor Nalin Abesekar also reminded us of the importance of entrepreneurship and small business to the economy of Sri Lanka. We all agree that due to various challenges in the recent past, Sri Lanka has plunged into a severe economic crisis. Long-standing structural weaknesses were exacerbated by exogenous shocks and policy mistakes. I don't want to go into politics, but since the recent presidential election, we hear welcoming news suggesting Sri Lanka's economy is on the road to recovery. This is very good news. In this road to recovery, sustained efforts to improve country's productivity and mitigate the impact of the economic crisis on the poor and the vulnerable through providing new forms of employment is critical. In this process, continuation on the path of robust and credible structural reforms to promote entrepreneurship, and more specifically developing effective entrepreneurial ecosystem policies to create conditions conducive to productive and sustainable entrepreneurship is essential. With that note, I will conclude my speech. Once again, thank you for the opportunity, and I wish you all success and a brighter future. Thank you very much.
For your enriching presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my pleasure to invite Professor Sivalogadhasan to introduce our third keynote speaker for today.
Good morning. So we are honored to welcome Professor Hussain Hassani, a distinguished scientist and a leader in the field of data science and statistics and energy, recently recognized in a published list by the Stanford University and Xavier as one of the world's top 1% scientists across the various academic disciplines. We are honored. Dr. Hassani has authored over the 200 high-quality journal articles and 7 books, making significant a contribution in multiple fields. His research has earned an impressive 6,952 citations on ResearchGate, highlighting his influence on academic community and his role toward the leader in his area of expertise. Holding a Doctor of Philosophy in Statistics from Harvard University and a Master of Science in Statistics from Shahid Beheshti University and bachelor's degree in statistics from the Rashid University, Dr. Hassani possesses the robust academic foundation underpin his expertise in data analysis and research methodology. Currently, Dr. Hassani serves as an adjunct professor of the Webster University in Vienna and Austria, where he shared his wealth of knowledge with the student while contributing to the innovative research project. He is also a researcher in corporations and transforming government research group within the ESA Advancing Systems and Analysis program. With over 15 years of extensive experience, Dr. Hassani has collaborated with the national and international multinational organizations, including United Nations and the Organization on Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, and where he held a position statistical system coordinator. Dr. Ashani has expertise spans several disciplines, including statistics, data mining, artificial intelligence, computing in mathematics, natural science, and economics. His skill and expertise include singular spectrum analysis, forecasting, data mining, statistics, and sampling econometrics, big data science. And so Dr. Hazani has played a pivotal role in the energy sector, particularly in the realm of the hub energies. His dedication of fostering and next generation impact on clean energy and other processing challenges has established his notable figure in the field. Dr. Hassan is a research output in finding how significant influence of policy on the decision making and contributing the better understanding of the complex system on the development effective strategy for the addressing the global challenges. Dr. Hassan is deeply passionate about the mentioning the next generation of the data science, which is more important, innovators, empowering them to shape the future through the innovation and impact. His enthusiasm for the sharing knowledge, insight make him sought after speaker and collaboration, inspiring the audience and colleagues alike. Dr. Hashani, welcome. Thank you.
There is a thumbs up, I would appreciate so I can start. Or somehow please inform me that you can hear me very well.
Yes, we can.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. It's my honor and pleasure to be here, and very good morning to you from Vienna. It's a nice day here as well. I hope that you have a shiny day. You started with a couple of keynote speakers, and it's again my privilege. And thank you, Professor Nalin, for inviting me, and also ICOME 2024 committee. After two great keynote speakers, we're talking about management entrepreneurship. I would like to shift a little bit to some other topics that a little bit to be ahead of the curve perhaps, and how to see the digital twin, which is a new concept which change and shape the future of all industry currently we have seen, particularly for management and entrepreneurship that I've been tasked by this committee to share with you. If you need further information about the topic, here is my QR code for my LinkedIn. I also link to my research gate, and I appreciate the welcome and note about me. I greatly appreciate it. So let me share with you a couple of slides about what is a digital twin. So when we look at the digital twin, the first thing that comes to our mind is the twins. Is it physical twin? And we know that over the time it grows. It would be various aspects of it, and then would be the couple of other things that came to my mind. And therefore, there should be a physical asset and also the virtual version of that. I was looking at the pattern over the time when this has been coined in the Google term in terms of search in the landscape worldwide. When I was looking at it, I thought that from 2007, as you can see, a little bit came up, and then till 2016-17 gradually was smooth, but the real shift happened from that. And I think that's 1920, because of after 20 was COVID, we could see lots of digitalization aspect, and therefore we could see the digital twin concept more and more came to the fact. And we can see that from the picture that I share with you here, it's a worldwide concept, and the darker blue means that the search was higher as well. But let me share something from your esteemed countries. I was looking at this aspect from Sri Lanka point of view as well. When I look at the Google trends and the information extracted from Google, I could see a little bit peak here about the digital twin, but not that much. When I was looking at which province in Sri Lanka has got this, it was in western part of the Sri Lanka, searching for the Google digital twin over the time. So that's a topic that perhaps comes to Sri Lanka as well. The previous speaker mentioned about the new reform in Sri Lanka, the new election, the new era for the growth, and I'm sure this topic, digitalization, will be more and more to Sri Lanka, which is a great impact for the economy too. So perhaps it's a timely subject to look at it from various point of view as well. So what in fact is digital twin? We have a physical asset, but we have a virtual replica of the physical. It could be subject, it could be system, it could be process. It could be human as one thing that we have a digital version of it. It could be a car, it could be a city, it could be a country as a Sri Lanka. Can we have a digital Sri Lanka? Then we have a digital twin of Sri Lanka. So then we need to look at the condition, status of that, and also the position, and many factors and elements come to this as well. Then can we use various sources to have a better view and information about the physical version of that we want to have a digital twin version. So then, but what about history? Is it started 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago? In fact, the idea came from 1960 when NASA started using this digital version. We know that over the past and from the history that when NASA started the work, sending the Apollo, there was a huge failure and also lots of damage done. That time was done. Therefore, they came to the idea that can they have some simulation version of the physical situation that they have, then to start to minimize their risk, to have a scenario for any possible situation. That's the starting point. Then 1970, NASA started. Then it came to the industry as we know, from computer point of view, the CAD system started using it. Then we had the IoT, and then over the time, we come to the technological advancement and AI integration that give us better environment till now. So, but when I look at this, the component, we have a couple of important and vital components here. Is a digital replica, it's a physical asset, and the data integrated. Everything is based on data. AI is based on data. ChatGPT is based on data. The more information that we have, the better picture that we can provide. And at the same time, analytical model and method is based on that too. So looking at what you are doing in terms of management, economy, and also entrepreneurship, the component it's quite important. What asset that we have, is it a process? Is it a system? Is it a network? All of these contributed to this. But let me shift a little bit to the management as well. Can digital twin help here as well? Yes, it can. Because if we have a virtual representative of the physical object of process or system, and therefore we can transfer the industry that we are having by real-time insight, and therefore we have a better decision making as well. Therefore, the integration of digital twin to management, into the management and also entrepreneurship has a potential, significant potential. And therefore we have a better decision making. We talk about the new digital, perhaps Sri Lanka. Therefore, rather than waiting or see what happened to the situation when we have a new decision and what we would like to implement to see the effect in 2-3 years time, why not now to see the different scenario? Let me shift a little bit in terms of management, share with you a couple of examples. The immediate part of it for management would be I have a real-time decision. And also it gives me lots of scenario to be generated. Therefore, if I look at the operational aspect of it, it's an operational efficiency. It's a key word here. And therefore, if I go to, as a manager in the different industry, one of the aspects, say for airline, Airbus is a key example that they use digital twin is a real-time monitoring and the adoption also the situation that we have. When you go as a company or firm, you look at the employment training and development. So by doing that, you generate the situation and the condition that you can train in a better situation. We talk about data science that is changing the landscape of all industry. Now we are more and more data-driven industry. Therefore, that's quite being important. So what I'm trying to encourage here to use more data-driven approach. As you know that this has changed various industry now, we can see. A prime example, which is quite easy perhaps to understand, is ChatGPT LLM model, which is heavily based on the data and information, as you know. And that is changing the academia, it's changing the industry, it's changing various fields. Therefore, it's time to look at the head of the curve, particularly for your esteemed country. Let me look at the entrepreneurship. I just give you a couple of examples here. Like the innovation and the product development is one of the examples. It's changing, as I said, the various in terms of concept, in terms of how we are going to develop, how would be the changing this prototype, say, version of it. Why we should spend time and money to have a prototype that just to check. We can do it as NASA did it back to 1960 to have a virtual and to see the various scenarios. Then in terms of business model innovation, we have a now new era. We talk about digitalization many years ago. If you back to the conference that time we could see that some buzzword that now is a reality as well. And that's, we look at the situation from business model innovation. As I said, data-driven approach is everywhere. Looking at the official statistics, we look at the various industry, as well as entrepreneurship. I share with you the management style and approach as well. At the same time, in all industry, we would like to minimize the risk, and we would like to be scalable. Scalability is quite important for us as well. Therefore, having a data-oriented and a data-driven approach give us various scenarios, give us the opportunity, unlimited opportunity, to see the effect. If you would like to change one element or two, to see the effect much better and easier, and to inform the policymaker and decision maker as well, the better scenario that they would like to face. In terms of trend, perhaps for you it's quite important to know, okay, now digital twin, how has been, because you are working in the industry, in terms of investment, where are we now? Like any other thing as well. Because for you, if you would like to be ahead of the curve to invest in this area, what are the paths? We look at the AI machine learning, which is a hot topic, is a part of digital twin. We look at the edge computing. We look at it even in your close, perhaps neighborhood country. Singapore is one of the examples. They have a twin city now. We look at the 5G. We look at the lots of application that comes to this, and also at the same time prohibition. All of this goes to digital. Let me share with you a couple of trend-wise. When we look at the using a digital twin in various industries, you can see the pattern from 2014 till now. I think that's give us something that we need to look at it as well. From different, it comes from manufacturing, automatic, agriculture, health. It's quite important. I would like to share with you a couple of my paper and the book chapter and book about the digital twin, for particularly for health, with the WHO colleagues will come I share with you a couple of other things as well about the market size as well, you could see that how the market in North America, Europe, Asia Pacific, Latin America, and Middle East has been changed over the time, and therefore you could see that still we have a big room for your region and for your area, particularly for your Muslim country. You have a new era to grow, and the hope is the most important thing. Before finishing my presentation, you have a new era of your Muslim country. I wish you all the best, and I hope that with the talent that you have in your country, I had the privilege to have a couple of Sri Lanka PhD students, very successful, and I could see unlimited potential in your colleague, and that's for the young generation in your country. In this conference as well, the hope is always there, and I wish you all the best. And thank you for having me again, and I appreciate the ICOME 2024 for inviting me, particularly Professor Nalin and Ms. Asari. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your valuable insights, Professor Hossein Hassani. Ladies and gentlemen, let us enjoy another vibrant traditional dance performance celebrating the diverse cultural spirit that unites us all. Thank you to our performers for this captivating performance. Ladies and gentlemen, next we have the pleasure of inviting Senior Professor Shama Virakon, the Director of the Research Unit, the Open University of Sri Lanka, to deliver her speech. Professor Virakon has been at the forefront of academic research, and we look forward to hearing her insights. Please welcome Senior Professor Shama Virakon.
Morning to all of you. Senior Professor PMC Tilakaratne, the Vice Chancellor OUSL, our Chief Guest, Senior Professor Sampath Amaratunga, Chairman UGC, the keynote speakers, Professor Richard Skulin, Professor Dilani Jawana, Professor Hussein Hassani, the Deans of the Faculties, Registrar Bursa, Director CETMe and other directors, Professor Nalina Abesekara, the Chairperson ICOME 2024 Conference Committee, all academic, administrative and non-academic staff members, paper presenters, ladies and gentlemen. As the Director of the Research Unit of the Open University of Sri Lanka, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Professor Nalina Abesekara, Dean of the Faculty of Management Studies and the Chairperson of ICOME 2024 Conference Committee, for giving me an opportunity to speak a few words about the research culture at the Open University of Sri Lanka and how it was developed and upgraded during the past years. As you all know, like other state universities of the country or USL, it also recognizes the importance of developing the potential of its academic staff as well as other staff members by providing them with adequate opportunities to engage in research and to explore and validate novel ideas in research, innovation, and other intellectual activities. Further, it would contribute to national development in the long run. As you all know, the annual Open University Research Conference is the first conference of the OUSL held for the past 21 years, which is organized by the research unit. These conferences establish itself as a high caliber research forum, which attracts researchers from local as well as overseas universities and other higher educational institutes, as well as research institutes. This year also, we are going to have International Research Conference of the Open University of Sri Lanka, IRC-OUSL 2024, on 7th and 8th November, with the objective of bringing local as well as foreign researchers to one forum. A further step has been taken by the Center for Environmental Studies and Sustainable Development, CEST, of OUSL, to enhance the research culture of the Open University of Sri Lanka by organizing the International Conference on Mangroves for Sustainability, ICMS, in years 2023 as well as in 2024. And also, as another highlight, CEST hosted the International Conference on Plastic and Environmental Sustainability, ICPES 2024, in this year. ICOME 2024, International Conference on Management and Entrepreneurship, represent a significant step towards fostering a robust research culture at OUSL. The Faculty of Management Studies of the OUSL hosted the first and the second ICOME in years 2023 and 2022 and 2023. This year, the faculty is hosting the third ICOME on 1st as well as on 2nd October 2024. ICOME 2024 will provide insights into the latest research in business, entrepreneurship and innovation, accounting, finance and banking, marketing, supply chain management and tourism, human resource management and best practices, interdisciplinary research, and open and distance learning in management education. ICOME 2024 will bring plenty of opportunities for the academics and researchers to exchange their research deliberations, to build up collaborative research with local and foreign universities and research institutes, and thereby fostering national development with economic productivity. Finally, I would like to extend my congratulations to all presenters and heartfelt thanks to the conference committee for their dedication in organizing ICOME 2024. I wish the conference every success in fostering meaningful discussions, forging collaborations, and catalyzing impactful research initiatives. Thank you.
Thank you, Senior Professor Shyama Virakon, for your valuable insights. Ladies and gentlemen, as we draw to a close, now I would like to invite Dr. Janaka Hinkenda, the Conference Secretary of ICOME 2024, to deliver the vote of thanks. Dr. Hinkenda has played an instrumental role in organizing this successful conference, and we are grateful for his efforts. Please welcome him.
Good morning. Vice Chancellor, UGC Chairman, Deans, distinguished speakers, distinguished guests, professors, lecturers, fellow researchers, my dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the conference committee, I stand before you today at the conference secretary to express our heartfelt gratitude to the people who supported to contribute to the ICOME 2024. We are deeply honored to have with us today our esteemed Vice Chancellor, Senior Professor PMC Tilakaratne, whose visionary leaderships and unwavering support have played a pivotal role in the success of the conference. We are profoundly grateful for your guidance and presence, dear sir. I would also like to extend our sincere thanks to the Dean of the Faculty, Professor Naling Abesekara. Your construct, support, and encourage have been instruments in creating an environment and the fosters teamwork and academic excellence. We are respectively honored to have the presence of the UGC Chairman, Senior Professor Sampath Amaratunga, at this event. We deeply appreciate your support and encourage and making time to be have with us despite your busy schedules. Furthermore, our heartfelt appreciation goes to our esteemed keynote speakers who have generously shared their expertise and insights. Your dedication to advancing knowledge and your willingness to engage to meaningful discussion have enriched this event, inspire us all. We express our gratitude to the registrar and her staff for the invaluable support extended to this conference. We must acknowledge the significant contribution made by the Bursa and his staff for ensure the availability of the necessary financial resources for the successful extent of this event. We also extended our heartfelt appreciation to the CETMe director and her staff for the wonderful job that they have done behind the screen and the camera. Furthermore, we would like to express our deep appreciation to the IT division for their outstanding support and technical expertise throughout the conference. We also very grateful to the Assistant Director, CRC, and her staff of the conference support extended towards the event of the various level. We would also like to express our sincere appreciation to our sponsors and partners who generous supports has made the conference possible. And I would like to extend our serious gratitude to the SIVAS for the comfortability hosting the conference. And also I would also like to extend our gratitude to all the researchers, scholars, and academics who took the time to share the groundbreaking work with us. We must also recognize the exceptional expert, our diligent reviewers who dedicate their time and expertise to evaluate the research submissions. Your rigorous assessments and valuable feedback have been essential to maintaining the quality of the presentation and ensure this intellectual rigor of this conference. Behind the scenes, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to our team, conference committee, ICOME 2024, who have worked diligently to ensure that every aspect this event was carefully planned and executed. A big thanks goes to the FMS family. I would like to thank every single member of the Faculty of Management Studies for the support extended at the various levels. Finally, I would like to thank everyone who supported and contributed towards the successful execution of this event. In case if I miss any name, I beg of your pardon. Once again, thanks you very much, all of your support and for being part of this remarkable event. We wish you all the stimulating and productive conference filled with the insight of the discussion, meaningful integration, and wealth new knowledge. We hope that you are depart with the warm memories, insight, and good thoughts. Thank you and best wishes for your future endeavors. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Heen Kender, for your kind words. With that, we officially conclude the inaugural session of ICOME 2024. We thank all our esteemed guests, speakers, and participants for their presence and contributions. We wish you all an enriching and productive conference ahead.